Hey everyone, it's Manny Garavito. Welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. Hurricane season is right around the corner, and we're going to debunk some of the hurricane myths of Miami, but we're going to hit you with the real truth. So some of these things were posted by the Miami-Dade Police Department on their Instagram account, and I'm going to read it aloud so that we can go one by one because they think we're dumb. We're going to start with myth number 1, and it says taping an X on your window will prevent them from breaking. And this is what they say. The truth is, tape cannot withstand flying debris caused by hurricane force winds. You don't say. We know that already. As soon as I was reading this post, my intelligence got insulted, as if I didn't take a physics class in your Miami-Dade public high school. You need to tell me that tape isn't going to hold a rock. Really? This has nothing to do with preventing the windows from breaking. This has more to do with what happens after the window breaks, if it breaks at all. Because sometimes that tape can withstand some wind, but if it does end up breaking because of debris, now we don't have glass shattered all over the house. Now it's just all stuck together because of the X. So we don't need you guys to tell us how physics work. We know that if a rock flew through our window, it's gonna break. The reason why we put tape on our windows is because we waited last minute. We're from Miami. Of course we waited last minute. We don't prepare in advance. We try to put up shutters, but oh man, it's raining. We better go inside. Just put some tape on there. And we know the kind of tape we can use. It's not duct tape. It's not painter's tape. What do we use? We use the clear tape so we can still look out the window and see all the debris hitting our neighbors' windows. We need the clear tape on our window so we can still peer through it and gossip. It just looks a lot better for insurance when you record your house and the damage it caused, and then it sees the window with the tape on it. Be like, I tried. All right. Now, myth number 2. It says opening a window during a storm will stabilize the pressure in your home. And the truth that they give us is if you let strong winds into your home, it's going to look for a forceful way out, breaking your windows upon impact. That's easy for you to say during the time that there is no hurricane, because what happens when the time does come and the hurricane lands in Miami? All the lights are out, which means we don't have any AC. And so if we don't have air conditioning, we got to open a window. We know damn well FPL is not going to fix the electricity for a very long time. Sometimes it feels like FPL takes a vacation when there's a hurricane. Hey, we don't got to go back to work for the next week or two. I've been in a situation where the hurricane is long gone. It's up in the Carolinas and we still don't have electricity. So it's easy to say, oh, don't open a window during a hurricane. Of course I am. It's hot. It's humid. And if the window breaks, then it just did me the favor. I didn't have to get up to open the other window. Alex says, we pull the grill out to cook anything in the fridge so it doesn't go bad when the power goes out. Well, here's what I do. If the power ends up going out and my stove doesn't work, you know what I do? I just let my ramen noodles soak in rainwater. And when the noodles are chilled, that's soba noodles now. All you gotta do is just use your imagination. That's all it takes. Now you eating fancy during a hurricane with no stove. You know what? That should be a Miami TV cooking show. Have you ever had Vienna sausages on the chopping block? And then you mince it up in little fine pieces, and then you just lay it out with an avocado. Bam, look at that. Lunch is served. Myth number 3. It says flooding only happens on the coast. And they say the truth is that rain from the storm itself can cause flooding even when hundreds of miles away from the coast. Yeah, we know that, but when you compare the flood, if Brickell is literally underwater, like 3 stories up, where anybody can look out the balcony and they feel like a lifeguard over their neighborhood, when we look at in the flooding in Doral, it's more like a shallow pond instead, okay? It's not as bad. So when Brickell takes the cake for flooding, it's really not that big of a deal. It looks more like a puddle outside my house in comparison to Brickell, okay? So it floods in Brickell. It gets a little wet on the west. That's all it is. So no, that's not a myth. It only gets flooded on the east side of Miami. Myth number 4, wind is the deadliest part of a hurricane. And the truth is, flooding is responsible for the greatest death toll during a storm. Really? Is it flooding? You know what I think is a more deadlier thing during a hurricane? People standing their ground from looters. I think people that own guns in Miami is just dying for you to pull up and try to loot someone's house when there's no electricity. They would probably be sitting outside of their homes in a rocking chair like they do in those old West movies with their shotgun, waiting for you to come around and try to break in. When the hurricane passes, we polish the guns. We're ready to go. We want you to come into our territory. God, I wish somebody would. Now I could finally use this gun. I don't think flooding is the deadliest thing of a hurricane. I think it's somebody that's armed, waiting for somebody to break into their home because they think their Ring camera is no longer working. Forget winds, forget water, forget flying debris. It's the person that's trigger happy waiting for you to break in. Myth number 5, according to this post, never just say it's just a category 1 hurricane. And the truth, according to them, is even though tropical storms do not reach high winds of hurricanes, they still bring a tremendous amount of rainfall. We as Miamians, we don't care what category the hurricane is. It's a hurricane. We don't care how big it is, how small it is. We want the tropical storm to turn into a hurricane because if you call it a hurricane, we know we got the day off. A tropical storm is like 50-50. So we're hoping it turns into a category 1 or a 5. It makes no difference to us. What's the difference? Like wind speed? We don't even follow the speed limit of our own city. What makes you think we're going to follow or pay attention to the wind speeds of a hurricane? We don't care. The people in Key West don't care either. Every time someone mentions a hurricane, no matter what category it is, people in Key West go outside and take it as a dare. That's how much we stand our ground in Florida. We don't leave. We actually go outside, no matter what category it is. We don't care. So yeah, it is just a hurricane. That's what we say. We got the day off. We got to pack the beers. We got to open up a game of Monopoly, and we're going to get fucked up. Alex says, it is flooding because of the under-the-table handymen who build efficiencies without a permit with Cuban engineering. This plus floods kill. Okay. That's a very specific thing you mentioned, Alex. It kind of sounds like this is a personal issue. What happened? Who died? I had a roommate, but that roommate is no more. He didn't make it. Thank God I was in the room in the efficiency with the sturdier floor. Myth number 6. My roof is the most vulnerable part of my house during a storm. Truth is, garage doors are the most vulnerable part of your home during a storm. The real truth is, the RV you got parked in back of your home that you have rented as an illegal efficiency is the most vulnerable part of your home. Because you know that's not supposed to be there, and you know that nobody is supposed to be living in there. But you've got the generator running 24/7 because you decided to turn it into an efficiency, and there's no insurance adjuster that would ever come close to that thing. You can't even claim it. You know how awkward it is when you call your home insurance company and you say, yeah, my RV got flipped over during the hurricane. They'd be like, what are you talking about? What are you going to do? You're going to use your car insurance? Hey, you're going to call the Geico lizard? Hey, my RV flipped in the back during a hurricane. I need you to cover it. Well, what do you need covered? Well, the bed inside got wet. Do you replace mattresses? I need new tiling in the bathroom that I had in the RV. Last but not least, after the storm passes, you are safe. The truth, according to them, is death can occur because of a loose or falling debris and unstable structures. The real truth is that you're not safe after a hurricane because the people that got drunk before the hurricane even came are now out in the streets, escaping their homes and trying to go to the nearest bar in those slippery roads. So, no, it's not because of unstable structures and debris. It's because everybody in Miami is inebriated at the exact same time. And you never know what kind of accident can happen. So keep that in mind. Stay at home after a hurricane. Stay safe. All right, everybody, that is it for the Miami Comedy Podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. And let us know what you think about what are some of the hurricane myths here in Miami. I'll see you on the next episode.